Going to be cooking up a nice, simple, healthy dish today. Now what we're going to be cooking is a selection of green vegetables and some chicken thighs, a little bit of pesto. All comes together, it's very simple, all in the one pot, nice and healthy, so give it a go. So what I'm going to do first of all is just quickly go through the ingredients we're going to use. Now I'm not going to give you exact quantities of how many vegetables you've got to use and weigh them all out. Just kind of mix and match as you feel you want to use yours. Now I'm going to use predominantly the green vegetables. Now what I'm going to use is these ones called spring greens. Then you've got 1 leek, a bunch of spring onion, 1 normal sort of yellow or white onion, a small handful of baby new potatoes, I've got some broccoli and frozen peas. So that's my selection, but you know, you go and choose what you like, just make sure it all fits in the pot. Now I've got 6 pieces of chicken thighs. Now what I'm going to do with those is leave the bone in because I think it adds a lovely flavour, but to keep it a little bit healthy I'm just going to take off the skin. So 6 pieces of chicken thighs with no skin. Now stock wise, you can either use chicken stock or you can use vegetable stock. What I'm going to use is the vegetable stock, this one called bouillon, which is like a powder but it's a really nice tasting stock. Pesto, now I've bought this one in a jar, but you obviously could make it yourself. You want to use about 3 or 4 tablespoons of pesto, and we just add that at the very end. It just really gives a lovely flavour. So apart from a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, that's all the ingredients. So let's go over and get on with the cooking. So I've come over to the hob and we're going to get on with the cooking. Now I've got all mine laid out, it's all washed, ready to go so we can enjoy the cooking. Now what I'm going to do first of all is to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan and we're going to gently fry off the onions and the leek. So I'm just going to switch the heat on. I'm going to start off on about a medium heat, but you can always turn it down if the heat's too high. Now let's just take the lid off and put a little bit of olive oil in there. That's it. So I was just starting to warm up a little bit, so let's just put in the onions. At the same time, might as well put the leeks in there as well. Just give those a little bit of a move around. Try and get them all covered with that oil. And you want to just gently fry these, probably 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, just to soften them down a little bit. And then after that, we can add the chicken. So I've been gently frying the onions and leek, about 5 minutes really, just slowly starting to soften down. Now I'm going to add the chicken next, so I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Now I am in fact going to add a tiny little bit more oil. Not a lot, just a little bit, help the chicken on its way. And then I'm going to put my chicken straight in the pan. That's it. Going to season that with some salt and pepper. So let's just put a bit of salt on there. And also a pinch of ground black pepper. Now with the chicken, I've just been cooking on one side for a couple of minutes, so let's just lift them over, turn them over. I just want to get a little bit, just a light golden brown colour on it. Now if you find the heat not quite enough, you can always turn it up just a little bit to get a little bit of colour on the chicken. And again, just have a look. And again, really with the chicken, I'd say you probably only want to cook for about 5 or 6 minutes in total. Now, I'm just going to move those around a little bit. Spread them over the top there. Move these around a little bit. That's it, looking good. And next of all, we can add those new potatoes. So So just place those in the pan. And also I'm going to add some water and the stock. Let's just put some water in there. That's it, we'll add that in. We can always add some more if we need to. Now, stock wise, I'm going to add vegetable stock, but as I say, it's your choice what you want to add. Let's just put a bit of that in there. That's it. See how we go with that. Give it all a bit of a move around. I might just add a little bit more liquid, because obviously we've got the vegetables that go in there as well. Now I'm just going to initially bring it up to the boil. So let's pop a lid on there. And once that's bubbling away, then you want to turn it down to a lower heat, nice low heat, and let it simmer, I'd say for about 30 minutes. So it's come up to the boil just about now. Let's have a look, just about boiling. So I'm going to turn it down fairly low, so it's on a gentle simmer really. So I've been cooking for about half an hour. Let's just have a look. Now I did give it the occasional stir and sort of just turned over some of the bits of chicken, just kind of move it around really. Now at this point, you just want to, try and make sure your chicken's cooked, and also make sure these little new potatoes are a little bit softer as well. Now these are not particularly big sort of chicken thighs, so they'll pretty much be cooked. With your potatoes, just sort of stab it, and if it just about falls off like that, that's just about done. Now what I'm going to do now is to add the broccoli in. Now I've cut it into like florets, so I'll just poke them in there for a minute. Now also I've got all these spring greens, so I'm going to put those in at the same time. That's what I said about having a pot big enough, see? It's kind of filling up here. I think I'll just get a few more in there. Now I'm going to put the lid back on, so let's just bring the heat right up. Now I've just brought it up to a boil again very quickly. Now I'm just going to turn it down. Now let's just give that a bit of a stir over. Squash it down a bit. That's it. Keep the lid on there. 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Now, I'm going to put in the spring onion. Obviously you can use as much, as little, or none if you want, but I'm going to put it all in. And also I'm going to put the peas in as well. Frozen peas, just a handful. Just kind of, again, always try and give it a gentle mix around. I don't really want to put any more water in at this point, because when you add water it's kind of diluting the flavour a little bit. So just leave that again for another few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, and then we can add the pesto. So I left that again for a few minutes with the spring onion and the peas in there. Now, yeah, just give it another little move around. Smelling good. Now I think it's time to add the pesto in there. Now before we do that, let's just grab a little bit of the liquid and see how it is, see how the salt is and stuff. I'm just going to try a little bit more of that. I don't want to add salt if we don't need to. I am going to just add a little teensy bit. Also, doesn't hurt. A little bit more black pepper in there as well. Now let's get the pesto. Now I can't get me tablespoon in there, so I'm going to use a teaspoon, but some good portions of it. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to mix that around, and then just leave it for a few minutes and taste it. It really does add a lovely flavour to it. So let's just get that in the mixture. That's it. Now, I'm just going to, again, very quickly, almost bring it to a boil, and then we can taste it, and you can serve it up. There you go, I think that'll do us. Just switch this off now. Again, final stir. Let's just try that. Oh, that pesto, really nice. In fact, I'm going to add another good spoonful of that. A little bit. Really, oh, it's a lovely flavour in there. Again, give that a mix. I think we can serve this up now. Beautiful. So let's take this over to the table. Go and serve it out. So I've got myself a plate and I'm just going to serve it up. Let's bring it a little bit closer. Let's just try and get a bit of everything in there. Might have to just wipe the plate after. I think I'll just put a nice piece of that chicken on top. And obviously if you like the juice, which I do, for dipping your bread in and stuff, put some of that in as well. One last bit. Now let's move that back. And obviously if you're serving it up, just give the plate a quick wipe. So let's just give that a quick wipe there. There you go, looks delish. Now let's just try some of that. Now I want to get stuck into that chicken because that should be nice and soft. Look at that, nice and tender. It's coming off the bone and the bone's giving it all a lovely flavour. So let's just try a little bit of that chicken first. Oh, lovely and tender. Really nice. I want to try some of this spring greens. Look at that, good healthy stuff there. One of those potatoes. Oh yeah. It's lovely, and you get that pesto just coming through, really makes it feel a bit sort of like summery and spring. That's a lovely combination. Now, I haven't really got any really nice bread today, but I've got one of these hot dog rolls. At least it's fresh, so I think I'm going to use a little bit of that, because I always like dipping in the juice. Ooh, delish. That's a wonderful meal, nice and healthy, simple to do, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching my videos, and if you haven't subscribed and you like what I do, click the subscribe button, always really appreciated. See you in the next video. All the best, the Original Naked Chef.